From the day I was born, the world knew me not by name, but by the value I held. I was a bargaining chip, a peace treaty bound in silk and steel. My home was a fortress of cold stone, its high walls a constant reminder that I was more prisoner than princess. The wind that whipped through the corridors seemed to whisper of a freedom I could only dream of. Laughter was a foreign sound, replaced by the clanking of armor and the hushed, strategic whispers of my father's advisors. My life was a chessboard, and I was merely a pawn, moved at the will of powerful men. Then came the day the raven arrived, its black wings sealing my fate with a wax sigil. I was to be married, not for love, not even for affection, but to unite two feuding clans that had painted the highlands red with their animosity for generations. I was to be the bridge over a river of blood, a fragile truce given a human form. I remember my reflection in the polished silver mirror on my wedding day. The girl staring back was a stranger, her eyes wide with a quiet terror, her smile a carefully constructed mask. My husband, his name was a legend, whispered in equal parts fear and reverence. He was a warrior, forged in the fires of countless battles. His hands, which held mine at the altar, were calloused and strong, more accustomed to the hilt of a sword than the gentle touch of a wife. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, rarely looked at me. They were always distant, scanning the horizon for the next threat, the next conflict. His heart belonged to the clang of steel, the roar of his men, the thrill of the fight. It had no room for a bride he never wanted. We lived in his ancestral keep, even colder and more imposing than the one I'd left behind. The stones seemed to hold the echoes of ancient wars, and the tapestries depicted brutal victories, not tender moments. Every night, I would lie beside him in the vast, cold bed, the space between us, a chasm wider than any battlefield. He would sleep with a dagger under his pillow, his body tense even in slumber, always ready for a war that never truly ended for him. And I would stay awake, staring into the darkness, my hands clasped in silent prayer. I didn't pray for his love. I learned early on that was a foolish wish. I didn't pray for riches or power. I prayed for something much simpler, yet infinitely more precious. I prayed for freedom. I prayed for a day I could run through an open field, with no walls to contain me and no title to define me. A day my smile wouldn't be a duty, but a genuine expression of joy. A day I could finally be myself, not the symbol of a truce, not the wife of a warlord, but just a woman, free to choose her own path. Every banquet, every court gathering, I was there by his side, a perfect picture of the dutiful wife. I smiled, I poured the wine, I nodded at the right moments. But inside, I was plotting my escape. I studied the guards' rotations. I learned the secret passages of the castle, whispered by the serving girls. I saved scraps of food and coins, hiding them in the loose stone of my hearth. Each forced smile, each courteous nod, fueled my resolve. I was playing a long game, a secret war of my own. He may have been the master of the battlefield, but I was becoming the master of my own gilded cage. My freedom wouldn't be given, it would have to be taken. And as I sat beside the man whose heart belonged to war, I made a silent vow. He could have his battles and his glory. One day, I would have the open sky. My story was not over, it was just beginning, and it would not end in this cold stone castle. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you were captivated by this story, imagine what comes next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss the next chapter in this tale of resilience and the fight for freedom. See you next time.